Rose, and tonight we're going to do a really simple, easy dinner. I actually did this dish for a spice shop tasting, and I didn't think it would be the hit, but it was. So I'm going to share it with you this evening, and you can replicate it at home. So we're going to start out. It is a green curry Thai soup. And we're going to use the spice shop ingredients. You can get these at your local spice shop. I'm sure they've got a blend that's very similar. But basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be combining coconut, a can of coconut milk. This is a premium high-fat coconut milk. It's the store brand. You probably have your favorite. We're going to be using cashew almond milk. That's our favorite non-dairy milk. Some added spices are going to be red chili flakes and a kefir lime leaf. You could use even just a little bit of like a quarter of a lime if you wanted to, but the kefir lime just gives it a nice flavor, and a friend of mine gave me the leaf, so we're going to use that. And then what we're going to be pairing the soup with is actually a 7-grain packet. You put it in the microwave, and 60 seconds later, you have 7 grains that include millet and rice and some other grains. So just super easy. I think I got this at Costco. I keep them on hand. I do keep boil and bag brown rice on hand. I love to cook my own rice, but my friends say, Lisa, I need it easy, so it doesn't get any easier than 60 seconds in a microwave. And then the spice we're going to use is the coconut Thai spice blend from our local spice shop. So this is what's going to give it the flavor. We're going to need it to simmer so that the flavors can meld. But this is really a very easy soup. And then I'm going to show you how to assemble it and make it even extra beautiful. So here we go. Turn on my induction cooktop. I always tell everyone I have an induction cooktop. Do not do this at home with an electric stove. This is a Silpat that I use so that the pot doesn't move around, but you cannot do this on an electric stove, only on induction cooktop. So I'm just really going to put in maybe about half of this, not quite half a can. I'm telling you, this is easy. And then we're going to add in some milk. Now I'm doing this for 2 people, so you can adjust these flavors and these amounts based on if you're, deciding you're going to feed a herd or not. So, but for 2 of us, this should be about right. And throughout this next little bit of time, I'll be adding a little bit more. But roughly, it's a half a can of coconut, and then I freeze the rest of this. Never waste your coconut milk. Is used for other things, especially if you're plant-based, which this is a plant-based meal for sure. I'm going to use some plant-based meat in just a little while. You can use tofu. If you're not totally plant-based, you might want to use chicken, but we're doing plant-based. And then I'm just going to put in 2 tablespoons of this, or about a tablespoon and a half for us. That way I can have another dose of it. And yeah, so we're going to just add that in. And it's going to take a little bit of time to dissolve. And once it's dissolved, we're going to let it sit. Again, you don't want this to boil. If you're using a plant-based milk, some of them do separate, especially if they have pea, some type of pea protein in them, which is what this does have in it. To give it some added protein, it may separate, so you just don't want to boil it. You can correct it, but just don't boil it. And then we'll just add in a little more flavorings, and we're going to let it sit. It's really super easy. Yeah, so a little bit more maybe. This one I kind of wing. Some people like exact measurements. I'm kind of winging this just a little bit by when the last time I did and how much I think we're going to eat for dinner. So while that's heating, again, here's what let me grab a spoon, what this 7 whole grain looks like. And if you've never tried millet, if you've never tried, this has some wild rice in it. It has some very mild spices that won't compete with the Thai. And this is just purely because I just don't want to
make rice tonight. And I didn't have any boiling bag rice. So it's a nice additive. What we're going to do is put this actually in the bottom of the bowl. We're going to put the soup on top of it. And we're going to use, this is the Morningstar chicken, in quotations, meat. So yeah, we're going to use this. And you can use tofu. If I had some tofu ready, I would use it. We tend to use these sparingly, but these are very, very low fat. These, to me, all the kind of chicken substitute products are much lower fat. They have a much better texture than some of the substitute meat products that are out there. So, yeah, so we're just gonna see, it's trying to do its thing here. Heat up.
So I'm going to give it about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the assembly part. I'll show you how to make a dish even prettier. Okay, so it's roughly been about 5 minutes and the soup is ready to dish up. So here's how I will do this. I'm going to do a really small one. Trust me, we're going to do a bigger one later, but really just for the purposes of this video, we're going to just put a little bit of, use a bigger spoon. There we go. There's my spoon. Use a little bit bigger spoon. We'll put some of the 7-grain rice in the bottom. And then we're just going to add some meat, or meatless cubes. And so then we're just going to put some soup on top. I know you're like, this is like so easy, because it is. You get a very similar soup at a Thai restaurant. And so all we're doing is just kind of making it a little bit more heartier. We'll serve this with a salad, and it'll just be a little heartier. So here comes the fun part. So you can serve it like that. That's okay. Cool. But yeah, so what would happen if we were to put, yeah, sprinkle on a little bit of greenery, a little cilantro, just to kind of make it colorful. Yeah, because otherwise it's kind of a white dish, which is a nice platform, but you know, we can take it up a notch. We can put some cashews. I tend to always have toasted chopped cashews. Do this fast before everything shrinks. And then, so this is a garlic grater, and normally you would grate garlic and put olive oil and just have a nice light salad. But here we're gonna just, I think color is always good, so we're going to grate some carrot, and just for a little bit. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. It's really just to give it some color. So we're just gonna grate it. I have a couple of these. This might not have been the best one to use, but there we go. Yeah, so look and see how much prettier this looks just by adding a couple of ingredients as toppings. You know, restaurants do this. They don't just bring you a white soup. They bring it with a orchid on the side or something. I've had that. And so, yeah, so here we have it. Have a nice soup with just a little bit of extra nuts, maybe some green onions. You could do some lime zest. That would be nice for sure. Absolutely. So here we have our dish. Super easy. You can make a big bowl of it. That's what we're going to have later. But I love the color and the kind of the mid-century modern of this bowl. It's kind of a little Asian appeal, so I thought it would be just right for this dish. So here you have it. Take a better picture of it in a little bit and add it to the video. I hope you enjoyed this. Super easy, lots of protein. You have protein in your meat, you have protein, or your meat, you have protein in your non-dairy milk, you've got protein in your whatever grain you decide. You can certainly do white rice if you're still not moving toward whole grains, but gosh, you get 7 whole grains with this. So super great. And it's pretty. So one of the nice things about cooking plant-based is making your dish look appealing, and just 3 or 4 little toppings that you can have on hand all the time just makes all the difference. So thanks for joining me. Subscribe to the video so that you can be sure and get the next one. I'm trying to do one a day. as we go through this kind of sheltering in place that we're doing. So hopefully I can meet my goal and have 14 videos out here by, say, the first week of April. So thanks for joining me, and